You've tried everything. You've stood on your head, you've done some yoga activities, and you're still constipated. And don't mention water one more time because I am drinking water with salt. This is what happens. Yeah, we need a little bit of help. In our past videos, we talked about triggers and foods and some lifestyle changes, and you have done those. And you're so sick of doing those, you can't see straight, and now you want a supplement to help you poop better. Okay, we said it. Constipation is still. Let's introduce you to some of the supplements that we use in our constipation protocol. One of my favorite types of magnesium is magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate in capsule form is usually easiest to use. I like to use 1 pill to 3 pills twice a day. And that comes down to about the basic recommendation you would find on the back of a bag of magnesium sulfate or Epsom salts. The reason I like magnesium sulfate so much is it does have a laxative effect. It helps stimulate the liver. And sometimes when we take a lot of magnesium, it can be hard on the liver, specifically like magnesium citrate or citrate. Not that we can't use those, but it is a little bit harder on them. And so we're giving a therapy to the liver. That sulfate component is the type of sulfur that helps your liver detox in eliminating the toxins. Magnesium helps with loosening the stools to move out. I find that works for most people really well. Now, the other type of magnesium is magnesium citrate, which has a stronger laxative effect. Nothing wrong with using magnesium citrate. But again, if you feel like you have liver pain or you're getting a sty on your eye or a cold sore or a canker when you use a lot of magnesium citrate, that's because you need the sulfate. There's nothing wrong with mixing the two. You don't find a lot of pre-made magnesium formulas with sulfate and citrate mixed together. So you may have to take a capsule of each. And they do make magnesium citrate in some drink mixes where you just drink it up. And those aren't bad. Those can be delightful. So the thing here is you want to start slow. You're constipated, you're backed up. And so now you're giving the body a signal with some magnesium, and it takes a little bit to move the plug out. But once the plug's moved and the digestive tract's moving, then you're probably using too much magnesium. And then you're going to be like in this diarrhea scenario. And you're like, oh, I'm going back and forth. I give up. So this is what I suggest. For somebody who's currently constipated, 2 capsules of magnesium sulfate or citrate, which is about 400 milligrams of magnesium, morning and night. And then you can increase that. Increase it by another capsule. So you can do 3 morning and night, but give it 2 or 3 days in between upping that amount. And then if things release real rapidly, you may know, okay, I'm going to cut my magnesium in half so that my body can calm down a little bit. Okay, let's talk about probiotics. Probiotics live in the gut wall and they stimulate the bowel in different ways to move material through and to clean up house. A very good probiotic, if you're even taking a pill that doesn't break the bank, is called Doctor's Best probiotic. This supports the long-term health and regulation of your gut and is specifically designed to help out with lower gut discomfort. The second one that I'm recommending here is not mentioned in the protocol. I don't have it available on my webpage because they just don't have a wholesale for it. But it works very good and it's FODMAP friendly. It's by a company called Claire Labs Synbiotic. And that's a very good probiotic to take for constipation. You may find that works better than the Doctor's Best for you. That's not the one I would start with, especially for cost expense. But either of those would be good ones to go with. Now, there's a difference in probiotics. We'll take a capsule of a probiotic, and a probiotic, they say it's active, meaning it will grow. But there's a difference between active and will grow and active and growing. And the difference in that is oftentimes the probiotics that we're missing in our gut is about 20 to 27 hours. A lot of us are eliminating those probiotics by then, or our gut's so constipated and toxic that those probiotics have a hard time creating a new home. So we need to use probiotics for an elongated amount of time. But then there's another option, which takes a little more work, and it's called Probiotics. And we will include an affiliate link, which you could purchase from the Probiotics company. It solves 2 problems. First, It's an active probiotic. It's actively growing, and then they put it in the freezer to hold it in a suppository that we use rectally. And that probiotic then doesn't get killed by the stomach acid or weakened by the stomach acid as we use it rectally before bed at night. And I know that sounds crazy, but there's tons of research done on this. And hopefully, we're going to be doing an interview with the owner of the company here very shortly. There's research done behind this. They were doing colonics, and they would clean out the colon with warm water injections, kind of like a type of enema. They do it in a clinic, and they make sure they clean the colon out very gently. And then they found that if they put probiotics, specific ones that were alive and active, back in the gut, you could replenish that. And constipation and SIBO and Crohn's and all kinds of things would go away. Candida and yeast infections. And then they found out then arthritis was getting better because those probiotics were mitigating a toxic situation, and the immune system was calming down, and the blood was cleaning up. And leave it to me to make a rectal probiotic sound like fantastic, but it really is. That's a very good option. And then some of you may check out Dr. William Davis' book called the Super Gut Book, and that's a homemade yogurt that creates a super powered probiotic. That's, again, much more of a commitment and probably not the place to start. But if you're wanting more, that's a good place. Leave comments about those. I want to know how interested you are in the Bumbiotics probiotics, the rectal probiotic, and the Dr. William Davis's Super Gut, creating a live, active, strong probiotic at home, because I'd be glad to instruct you more on that. A next supplement that we would use would be the black radish. This supports your ileocecal valve. That's the valve between your small intestine, large intestine. As it closes off, it separates the bowel material from small intestine versus the large. And when it's not closing off, and bowel material is moving in and out, and it's not digesting well, things get out of order. And usually that causes discomfort or pain on the right side over the appendix area. And the ileocecal valve is called the great mimicker, because when it's upset, people feel like, oh, I think I got appendicitis or something's wrong there. So the black radish helps clean that out, and it contains a secondary ingredient called ox bile. And bile is what our liver produces to help regulate bowel movements. And so get a little bit of bile in there, things start moving a little bit better. I get some people say, are these habit forming? If I use them for a long time, am I going to become dependent on them, or is my body going to stop responding to them? The answer to that is no. They're gentle enough you can use every day. The one thing that you may run into, though, is sometimes the gut takes a while to heal, and people want to be better now. So I took it for 2 weeks, man, and then it was great. Then I went right back to being constipated. This is a battle worth fighting, and when we're introducing enough probiotics and we're controlling the constipation, you could be on a 3 to 6 month journey of really fixing the gut. And then we don't quit cold turkey on the supplements. We slowly taper off. And that may look like you drop one supplement at a time. That may look like you cut all of your supplements in half. Anyhow, those are things to consider. And if you have not considered looking at the idea that you could have parasites in the gut contributing to toxicity and constipation, you should check out our Parasite Protocol, because that has a lot to do with it. But for that to be effective, it's best to mitigate your constipation. So get your constipation under control, hop right into the intestinal cleaning protocol called the Parasite Protocol, and get those little guys out, and you'll feel a ton better. Your liver will thank you, your gut will thank you, your brain will thank you, everything will thank you for getting rid of those parasites. So here's the awkward thing. You should share this with a friend. And the reason I say it's awkward, because you probably noticed they're like in the bathroom for 40 minutes, or they've got really bad breath, and you're like, this could really help your constipation. It's not a conversation we like to pick up, right? But it's like having a booger hang out your nose. If you had a booger hanging out your nose and somebody didn't tell you, are they really your friend? Because I'm going to tell my friend if he's got a booger hanging out of his nose, so that he doesn't have to look like an idiot, right? It's what a good friend does. In that sense, just be gentle, but share this, because I can't believe how many people didn't know a vegetable helps get rid of constipation. I can't tell you how many people didn't know that water helps get rid of constipation. And they bring in vegetables or water or both, and it's literally life-changing. We're going to move into some troubleshooting in the next video, And I think that if the supplements are not working or you're a little nervous about it, you know, what does it hurt? Check out the troubleshooting. If we miss our window of opportunity to go to the bathroom, the bowel becomes more dehydrated and the material in there has a harder time coming out. If we